the suspect, you produce wrong information. In this country, we don't know how to handle data. We don't know how to handle truth. We shy away from reality. And it's pervasive in the entire gamut of the way we run ourselves. We say it is well when it is not well. We say we are strong when we are weak. So we live in deception perpetually. So when the data is supposed to reveal the truth about anything, but we shy away from it. So the election we've had now, there is this garbage because it was fiddled with, it was manufactured. We don't know the truth. Only God knows the truth. So we're going to live with the consequences. But the bottom line is that we now have just 10% of Nigerians approving the leader of the country. Just 10%.
If not even less than that.
In fact, 10% of registered voters.
Okay.
5% of population of 220
million people.
So this is the government by the minority to oppress the majority, in effect. That's what the data is saying.
No, but Dr. Hold on. This is the data that shows us that the minority oppresses the majority. But majority did not come out to vote. About 24 million, 23.3 million people came out to vote. That is valid votes, not even accredited, because there were some people that were accredited, but the total number of voters were about 23.3 or 20, not about 23.3 million people. So those were the people, according to INEC results, that voted in this election. Nigeria has a population of 220 million people, according to Worldometer, as at this morning that I checked. What else again? 93 million registered voters, which is not up to half of Nigeria's population. Yeah. 87 million people got PVC. So let's put those numbers in perspective. So will it be right for you to say that minority is oppressing the majority when majority did not show face? Majority were not enabled to even come up. How many PVCs were dumped and were found in septic tanks all over the country? The numbers of branded by INEC, you cannot say it is even gospel truth. INEC says about 6.2, about 6 million PVCs were not collected. They're not collected, but there are those who are dumped in septic tanks, picked up in Port Harcourt. So we don't know if they are even among those 6.2. We don't know, maybe more. Overall, we are living on mere congestion. We are not certain about anything. And once we have doubt, everything about data is credibility. Do all of us believe what we are doing? We don't. We are not able to believe what we are doing. And once I doubt, then the outcome will not be believable too. Why did you say we don't have belief in what we're doing? With that presidential election that was conducted, many people who even came from the diaspora, many Nigerians, there were a lot of first-time voters that came out to vote. Why? Because they saw a sense of credibility in the process. In the process, that if we vote this time around, that the process will show up for us. Technology, data. So why are you saying that? Up to the election, there was money shortage. There is no fuel to move around. And you still have to have minimum movement, even though there was a kind of daytime curfew. But all factors conspired for us not to have an ideal situation. Election is about celebration of democracy. There is an organic feeling that you are part of the process. But in Nigeria environment, it is to suppress your participation, because the fewer the people participated, the more there is the party loyalists who have a stake. They are the ones that will raise all the odds, because they are the beneficiaries. People already flying CVs around, and they want to be space and all that. So there are people who want the election to hold at all costs. Once the election is held now, until 4 years' time, they occupy positions and they govern us. But for us to really elect them organically, for them to be responsible to us, they don't really want it. And all of us are complicit, because as I said earlier on, individually we don't believe in truth, we lie to ourselves. So convenient for us not to face the truth. So from the bottom of the individual to the family to the city,
to the state, to the federal government, all of us, we lie to ourselves and we are comfortable. But we still wish the best. Surprisingly, we wish the best, but we do the wrong things. So data that we have seen now all point to the fact that we don't want to use data properly. We are going to get wrong information. With wrong information, we are going to get wrong decisions.
At what point have we gotten this data wrong? Because there is a saying that what you don't measure, you can't manage. And I've always said it here for many years that we need to have credible data. There is the importance and significance of data across whatever we're doing, that it makes us even get the right policies, it makes us, do the right things, even across, it makes us governance a bit easier. At what point are we getting this data wrong, according to what you're saying?
From the beginning of time as a country, because we have mutual ethnic suspicions, we have distrust of one another, we want to take advantage, we want to cheat. Population figures are inflated by some states to cheat others because we base everything on revenue allocation. That alone is an incentive that you must cheat. Until we change the attitude of grabbing and taking advantage of the others. 1962 census was disputed. 1973 census was disputed. 2000 census was disputed. It's just because these are avenues for parts of the country to cheat. We are not a nation, we are a country of many nations. And nations contend and compete and want to take undue advantage of the other. Until we solve that problem where we come back to normality as human beings, this fiddling with data will continue. It will continue.
So I'm trying to get a sense of what you're saying. Did we get this thing wrong, especially from our population data? Because from our population data is where you would also get number of registered voters and all of that. It has to be at least, if less or equals to the population.
Absolutely.
So are you saying now that our population data is actually wrong?
It's never been correct. Right from the 30s, the first time we had census, up to 51, 52, up to 62. And the data we have studied, we've just been adding flat percentages increase every year we have census.
Which is about 3%.
3%, 206, 19, just at 30% flat to every state.
Doctor, I didn't think about that. You're just making me realize that, because our population growth rate has like 3%.
Flat. Never mind that. Compare Nasarawa State with Borno State. People have moved from Borno State. Nasarawa is blown in population. But on paper now, Borno State still is staying the same population. Nasarawa is still a very small state. But just drive to Karu, across the border. You see the human beings in Nasarawa State. But we deceive ourselves. Compare Lagos. People have moved into Lagos so much from the east. But up to the point we are saying now, Lagos belongs to everybody. But population of Lagos is still the same as it was in 1962. So we are just stuck in the past. We have distributed population based on economic basis and all that, but we don't want to face that reality. We want to hold on to the advantage because we share crude oil money based on false population. People are enjoying it, they want to hold on to the advantage. People who are losing, they are murmuring, they are grumbling, and we have a stalemate. That's where we are.
Doctor, if you take a look at what happened February 25, from the election results that INEC declared, Tinubu has about 8.7 million. Atiku, who is protesting right now in Abuja, 6.9 million. Peter Obi, 6.1 million. Kwakwanso, 1.4 million. About 23.3 million voters. This is the year that we've gotten the lowest amount of voters, according to INEC results, according to INEC's data. And we have 93 million registered voters. What does this say? Because at least in the last few years, since 2011, 2015, 2019, we've seen a gradual decline of voters vis-a-vis the registered voters. Because this year, for example, everyone projected that this year we will see a large turnout. A lot of first-time voters, people came from the diaspora. There was so much enthusiasm concerning this election. But the data is telling us differently. So for me, as an analyst, I'm trying to reconcile why all of that happened.
Two things. First is that just a feeling. We are not anywhere near 220
Your
million.
feeling or what the data is saying?
Well, nobody can measure it. We are not up to 220 million because we just.
Someone can measure it. That's why we have a population census. Population commission that will do a census soon.
They've never produced a credible. They give a one figure. They can't break it down to states, to local government, to towns. What population of Kefi? Nobody knows. Population of Abuja? Nobody knows. You can't disaggregate data. It's just ballpark number that we brand about. Okay. Population-wise, I believe we're not up to 20 million. But then, this time around, there are a lot of fiddling with data suppression. It's just a feeling again. We just believe on feelings. Since we cannot have a credible source of measurement. Anybody who assumed that we're supposed to have almost 50 million voters based on the enthusiasm,
yes, that we have.
Based on where people feel APC government has fallen short. It's only here that somebody not doing well, you should reward them with accolade. So, but if as human beings we are all suffering under administration, there should at least be a protest vote. Instead of that, the data is even saying we are not interested, that we are the voter party, that we don't care. So it's difficult to understand. As I said, data produces information, information produces decisions. If data is faulty, information is wrong, decision is also wrong. So we can't make anything out of data more than mere conjecture. Honestly speaking, we can't make any more. But bottom line is that things are not just right. We know it, we can feel it, nothing is right. Example, coming this morning, I almost made on time. Fuel queue all over in Abuja now, no petrol.
Though the NNPC is saying that they have supply for 47 days.
They have 60 million liters we take every day, they paid for it, but we can't say it. We can't say it. Is that not data too?
It is
data on petrol,
data.
We don't have data on petrol. On the road now, we see that there is...
They say it's about 59, 60 million that we consume every day.
But we don't say it. There's queue. I was blocked on the road to get here. I will have been late. So that's the feeling now. What I'm seeing says there is no petrol.
The
government's data is saying there are 60 million liters. So what are we going to believe? I believe what I'm saying.
You believe what you're seeing, not what the numbers are saying.
No, the numbers are fraudulent, apparently. That's the scientific explanation. Because what I'm saying, I can believe it.
What if that... Doctor, you're taking me to another dimension, but it's still data. What if the NNPC, of course, did say that it has about 2.7 billion liters, and we consume in this country about 60 million liters daily? What if the reasons given by the NNPC limited, for example, that because of the no restriction of movement and all of that, that's why we are not able to see supply? Is that not enough to block? Is that not enough challenge?
There are data again about pipelines to transport petrol from Mosime to Abaji to wherever. How many kilometers of pipeline do we have that is working? How many depots is working? How many trucks are there? There is petroleum equalization fund that truck drivers claim subsidy for transporting petrol from Lagos, let's say, to Abuja. The claims are being paid. Meanwhile, we are not seeing the petrol. It just goes on the value chain. Everything is based on lies. Until we can put satellite and investigate and establish credible fact that we can all see, then we know where the shoe is pinching. But once we are living in deception, in the civil service, I left service long ago now, you put a file, you keep it away. When you don't want to see the content, you just put KIV. All issues are KIV'd in Nigeria, but the problem will not go away.
Isn't it, Doctor, isn't it extreme for you to say that they are all lies, what we're seeing?
Are they truth? It's either in computer
But-
science,
but-
either 0 or 1, 1 or 0. It's either 1 or 0.
But those are the things we are dealing with right now. So will you really say they are outright lies, or we don't understand, or we don't understand what the authorities are saying, or perhaps they need to explain further, or perhaps those data need to be interrogated?
True doesn't need explanation, either true or untrue. In two states, in computer we deal with 0, 1.
Oh, so truth doesn't need explanation.
No,
You're
no,
saying
no.
the truth.
It doesn't need explanation. If you are truthful, you don't need to think. If you have me a question,
Think twice.
where was I last night? If I'm not lying, I will tell you I was where. But if I was somewhere where I cannot explain, I will say, well, where was I? Was I in the market or in the church? Because I'm lying. But if you tap me, if I'm telling the truth, where were you last night at 9 p.m.? I was in my bed sleeping. That's truth. But what I want to obfuscate the truth, then I will have to think what can be in good light so that I don't be taken as an irresponsible man. Is it not true?
Okay.
So in the country, we don't want to face reality. We explain things away and keep it in view, put the file in the cabinet, but the problem remains.
Okay, we'll come back to you. The protest is still on as the PDP is marching in protest to INEC headquarters. As soon as they get there, we will definitely bring you up to speed with that. Dr. Akin Fapohunda, a professional fellow at the Nigeria Computer Society, is still with me here in the studio. Let's talk a bit, because I also see that many Nigerians are engulfed with this presidential election and the governorship elections just in a few days' time. We've also forgotten, or perhaps let me remind our viewers, that the population census is just, yes, it's just by the corner. Doctor, tell me what you think, because I know you were a part of the group, you represented a group at the meeting and all of that. Give me a sense of what the census is about and why it is important for us to do a census at this time. A lot of people have also queried the timing of the census, but what do you think, Doctor?
Census was supposed to have been done last in 2006.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have been every 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Now we're in 2023. The government knew about it, but they are now putting it the last minute. The census that will be done next 2 months is not likely to have credibility. Nobody is talking about it. People are not aware about it. There is no awareness. There is no information to the general public. They are just spending money under the table and they are doing mobilization. But the bottom line is that based on what was announced, I was at the event where the project was presented to the public. The census is going about the same way as we have been doing census. They are not going to apply biometric technology in doing the count unless they change their mind the last few weeks after the event was presented to the public. They refused putting ethnicity as a data point. And yet we deceive ourselves because either you are a Bira or you are Yoruba or you are Igbo, we know who we are, but we want to shy away from that data. And we cannot shy away from it because there is ethnic identity all over the world.
But the National Population Census, National Population Commission, I think as of February 5, said it is ready to carry out digital census in the country. And this was confirmed as it received 100,000 electronic devices, which it calls personal digital assistance. So perhaps it's now the BVAS
we like to put big names on
personal digital assistance for the conduct of a digital population and housing census.
Nancy.
So perhaps from your meeting, something has changed.
We like to use big names. It's just tablet PC they are all talking about, whatever name you call it. It's a tablet PC that you can carry and put data in. There's nothing special about BVAS or whatever it is. What are you putting into the equipment? That's the most important thing. I've told you now, they said a data point on ethnicity will not be there. You will not be asked, are you Yoruba, are you Egun, are you Awori, are you Efik, are you Ibi will not be there.
But doctor, can they realistically do that since we have over 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria? So if that is the case, they will have Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Awori, Ibira, Egun, Anioma,
in computer science,
Urobo,
in computer science, my dear.
Yes.
If you say Osun State now, 27 local government will come down
out.
full menu.
Yes.
So we know, I mean, we know where everybody is generally.
Okay, I see what you're saying. For each state, they should poll the
major
local governments.
Local government, and then the major
ethnic groups. Okay,
and
if
then
you have like
there'll be others.
That's where I'm going to. But if you have others, is it also fair?
No. I mean,
if you have others, because others in Nigeria too have been crying that Nigeria is not just a country with Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. Others have been crying.
No, I live in Abuja
and asking for their own states.
No. I live in Abuja. If you're census here now, they will list all Gwari, everything. Then I'm Yoruba. I will put Yoruba on my own. Though I'm living in Abuja.
Abuja, your residence.
I'm resident in Abuja. The data allows to put so many things if you really want to aggregate, and the way you pull it together. The bottom line is that we don't want to know whether there are 250. Why are we afraid of 250 ethnic groups? Why can't we know this 250?
Okay.
Some say it's 600. Why are we afraid of data on that? Let's know the individual 250 ethnic
groups that we have.
So that we know, let everybody project its identity and be proud of it. We can still be a mosaic in the country, but we say we are all together. We don't want to know who. And then whether Christian or Muslim or atheist, we don't want to know either. But it's a factor of our lives. We are a religious society. It will suppress that data. We'd like to say, oh, there are many more Muslims and many more Christians. We don't want the real data. So we run away from facts.
Okay. Doctor, I think we'll come back to this, especially as the governorship elections are coming. Let's see the kind of data that will come out from there, if it will be a bit different from what we've seen at the presidential elections, and also the population census that would be done soon. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming. I'll have you again soon.
Thank you for that.
All right, I've been speaking with Dr. Akin Fapohunda, a professional fellow at the Nigeria Computer Society. We've been talking about the election data. Continue to follow the show. We'll bring you up to speed with everything happening. Let's go back to the PDP protest to INEC office. I'm being told that they are almost there. Let's see what happens. I'm Nancy Naji signing out. Be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see.